Internal communication. Wow. What do I mean by internal communication? Within your company? No, I mean it within yourself. What do you say to those voices in your head? We all have them. The inner critic, the inner shamer, the doubter. How do you deal with those people? Well, I have a program for you. I am a Reiki Master, a Theta Healing Practitioner, and an intuitive medium, and I talk with dead people. With dead people and dying people and help them transition to the other side in a way that releases their fear in full comfort, even joy, and embracing the other side. Or they can even come back. So, how do you deal with those voices in your head, those critics and shamers? First, I help you determine, are they you, a part of you that broke off, like your ego part, that needs to be reincorporated to you and needs some couple counseling so they can communicate with you in a safe and healthy way? Or if your part doesn't belong in your space, maybe it's the voice of your father, the voice of your grandmother, the voice of your teacher, and it's an external part, then I help you determine that. And I help do the couple counseling if it's your ego, and you can reintegrate it. And I do the inviting it to leave and go to the light, just like a live dead person. They go to the light and then they're transitioned. Same thing with those external parts. They can go to the light. And everything I do is in love and light. I don't do anything in darkness and banishing and meanness. And I actually give full free will, even to those external parts. And usually they don't want to go. But how I encourage them to go is I pour more light, more light, more light. And they go, okay, okay, okay. I don't like it here anymore. And I say to them, this one external part, I said to him, he goes, I don't want to go to the light. I said, well, what if I show you the light and you can decide for yourself? Okay. And so I kept pouring more light and pouring more light. And I said, is there someone? Well, I showed him the light and he said, okay, I'll go, I guess. And then he said, I said, would you like to have someone support you to change, to transition? And he said, yeah, I want two things. I want sunglasses because it's too bright. And I want Elvis Presley to come and transition me. What you going to do with that? So I did invite Elvis Presley from the other side to come and escort him to the light, and away he went. It wasn't the first time I ever worked with Elvis Presley on the other side. I was transitioning someone, her friend, who is my client. She called me and she said, is there anything you can do for my friend? I said, I can't go to the ICU and do anything. She goes, but is there anything spiritually you can do? And so I said, okay, I'll try. And when I met her at the gates of heaven, at the foyer of heaven, she was 90% dead. And I found out later that she actually did die. And she had a tracheotomy and was on life support to make her live. But she was in fear and confusion, and that's a terrible way to die. So my mission changed from healing, because I didn't have much hope, to supporting her to die well, to not be in fear and not to be in confusion, so that she and her higher self could make better choices. Well, guess who showed up? Elvis Presley. And he knew her in real life because her brother was in his troop in the war, and he knew her as the kid's sister. And fast forward to the end of the story, she lived. I went to visit her in the hospital. She was on her bed and she was ready to go. I was like, not many people get a second chance like that. Only if you have a purpose. Do you have a purpose? And she said, yes. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.